Alright, this video is going to be a bit of a two-parter. So due to time constraints, I've pretty much rendered the 3 tracks that I currently don't have stems for as stems, so which is this one here, the Quantaloop remix, and this one here. Whether they're ready or not to play, I'm not sure, but I need to move on to the next step, which is getting them in here, and then I need to adjust all of the levels so they're relatively the same. What is happening this afternoon is I'm going to be talking with a friend of mine who is going to be offering some advice on a mastering chain, because everything's so kind of all fucked up, and I happen to be in the vicinity of someone who's much better at mastering than I am. I thought I'd take the opportunity to sit down and see what we can do. So the goal is just to get everything at a relatively consistent level so that that process is a bit easier. And once we do that, maybe I need more than one mastering chain, I'm not sure. After I've done that, I'm then off to a local venue to plug into their big main system where I can listen to it and tune it even further with some massive subs and stuff like that. That's not always what I do, but this particular one I really want it to sound the best it can be, and because there's such a vast amount of changes in stems. I mean, look at this bass line compared to this bass line, for example. I just want to get everything sounding as tight as possible. Then I come home, and then I sleep, and then I get up and I pack, and then we're on the road. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do the videos on the road, but there will be some, that's for sure. So anyway, first off, let's get these tracks in. So we've got Le Lascard here, Le Lascard. So just drag these in to the respective places. I'm just going to double check that the stems are all good as well. Percussion, synth, Vox in this case for this one. So what I do with the unfinished tracks, I should mention, is I try to leave spaces. So rather than have something which is developed but doesn't sound great, I'll probably just pull that out. And then when I'm on site, so I'm not playing until Monday evening, but I'll get to site on Friday evening. And that gives me time to, sit down for a few hours, play around on the push, play around with some presets, come up with some live stuff to play. If there's any serious gaps that need filling, I've got time to come up with ideas. And this may sound a bit odd to you, and I'm not sure. I don't see too many other artists doing it this way, but it's just always what I've done. And I'd like to say it's not due to lack of time management skill. It's just, I don't know, when I kind of also like working on site. I mean, if I'm playing on the first night or something, then yeah, I need to be ready as soon as I'm out the door of my house. But when I go to especially festivals, I usually find a place to steal some power and sit down for a few hours with my headphones and work on stuff. Anyway, so here's Le Lascard. So I've kind of got the big intro. I did do a little bit of work on this extra as well. I think you saw it in the previous video. I'm starting to lose track of where we are. Let's turn it up a bit. So obviously all these stems are very quiet, and this is kind of the level that I should be generating my stems at. So I'm going to bring everything down to roughly around this level. Okay, that's all good. Let's get the next one in, which is Quantaloop here. Okay, and let's just make sure these starting points are going to change, but I'm just putting it in for now so they match up with the track Quantaloop. And this one is Gravity, which is here. So get the bass in. This one has had the least amount of work. I hope the guys don't mind me playing it in this state, but a lot of the track is original, but this is the one I plan to mess with the most live because it's got these amazing blips. That'll be really, really fun to play with. Do lots of weird echo. You know how I was playing with this spectral time and stuff. And see how I've rendered that extra tech line that I did on the tech stem, so I can kind of copy that and bring it over and, you know, kind of arrange this into different places. But we will get into the splitting stem stuff. That's probably going to be me at the airport or on the plane doing that video. I might have to find somewhere quiet so I'm not too embarrassed to be talking into my computer. So this is all working out, and then the last one is the crazy sidetrack that's ending, which I've very cleverly called cider. And of course this goes from 155 up to 175, which is pretty wild. One cool thing which I never actually realized, we've got, okay, well, kind of, Ableton's kind of generated the warp markers. I'm not sure if it's done it completely accurately. Nah, it hasn't. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the warping off for these, just for now, because I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this transition at a later stage. But I just want to get the stems in. That's tech. This is synth. And FX. Okay, obviously I need to unwarp these ones as well. I also got, I guess you could say, lent some really awesome synth lines from my friend Stan, who's really into his high tech and his sci. So I've got some really cool stuff to play with kind of around here. Where is it? Oh, what am I doing? So I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this live as well. Okay, so the next step is to I want to get these all down to a reasonable level. Do I record this? Is this interesting? Basically, I'm gonna eyeball it, I reckon, for a start. I think that's probably one of the best things to do. So what I'll do is I'll take these first row of stems and drag them out so they pretty much take up the whole screen. Like so. We can get rid of the overview. And I'm going to use the Hyperion one as sort of a base level. You can see these are relatively the same, so that's all good. Let me just go ahead and select those. I'm going to have to open this up, the device view. Let's bring these down. Let's work outwards. That's probably a much better idea. So you can see if I bring these down to roughly the same level. And I am going to test these and just look at some dB meters. Let's do this one. So I'm kind of looking at the kick track as a reference, if that makes sense, because it's always going to be relatively the same. This one's a little bit trickier. It seems like the kick's got quite a lot more presence. Anyway, I'll keep it down around there. Maybe there. Let's go for the opaque. Good enough for now. This one's a bit funny. I might not play it all the way. I may change my mind at the last minute. It's just sounding really weak, the particular stems that I have here. If we ever listen to it. Oh, it's not too bad. If I was just to push this up now. Whether it works into this one though. We'll see. I'm actually just going to mute these. think this volume could go down a little bit more even. Like so, and then, yeah, what do we got going on here? Got some DC offset there. Yeah, it almost sounds like these. We'll bring these down to around here, and then we'll raise the kick. That's what we'll do. Percussion's still a bit loud in some places, so eyeball, earball. Anyway, let's go and do the next set. So here we go here. Oops, that was the wrong way. Okay, so I've got these two as nice reference points. This one is a little bit louder. I guess let's just go back to Hyperion here. Let's just solo this. Let's have a look. What are we hitting? We're hitting, say, -20. So if we could aim for that here. It's a little bit too wide. So what are we hitting here? We're hitting -8. But these will look good too. So let's just bring the kick down a little bit here. We're hitting -13. I think I'm just gonna have to go through these quite procedurally and make them more consistent, which I'll probably do off camera, but I just thought I'd show you the process that, well, this is pretty much the next step in which I need to do for this. I just want to get them all nice and roughly the same level, and it's going to be a bit tricky considering I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. Oh, they're kind of scaled nicely, but you can see how kind of compressed. I used to just render my stems, you know, like with limiters on and at 0 dB and stuff, which is a little bit sloppy. I'm not saying it's not fixable, but it has made life a little bit harder when I want to use some of the old tracks. But that's how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video there, and then in the next video, hopefully we should have things sounding nice and consistent. And we'll have something on the mastering. I might even use something. Ooh, actually, I want to play off the push 3, so I can't actually use external VST instruments. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to have to think about that off camera. I was going to use Ozone, but if I'm going to play on the push 3, I can't use Ozone. I'll still have the session. We'll see how we go, and then see what I can emulate using Ableton Live devices, which I'm pretty confident.